It is really comfortable to be an outer sect in Changmingzong. Shuang is just one word, and she only said it once. On weekdays, she only needs to practice sword swing on time, and no one will say anything when she sleeps all day long. She wanted to be bad but not too bad, otherwise the gain would not be worth the loss if she was expelled from the Changming sect. For this reason, Yi Qiao locked herself in the room for 2 full months to study the mental method of practicing breathing. Lazy people have lazy people's way of cultivation, and in the realm of self-cultivation, the art of exhaling and exhaling is always the same. It is nothing more than mobilizing the spiritual energy to circulate in the body. Yi Qiao tried to use talismans to make a spirit gathering array, and the surrounding spiritual energy would automatically flow into the body. Not only is the speed fast, but you don't have to practice hard every day. During these 2 months, she went from the 3rd level of Qi training to the 5th level of Qi training. Da Zong took the monthly exam. According to her experience of being beaten by the society for many years, she deeply understands a truth that the world will only remember the first and last. So it was impossible to count down. She kept her grades precisely at the mid-range level, not outstanding, nor the worst. Ellipsis. After Yi Qiao opened her eyes, she let out a breath of turbid air, and before she could unblock the spiritual power in her body, she was dragged away to the back mountain by Du Chun excitedly. Brother Ming and senior brother Zhu are coming to select inner disciples from our outer sect. Elder Zhao asked us to gather at the back mountain. Yi Qiao let out a silent "Oh." Are you going to sleep again? Du Chun looked at her listless state and didn't know what to say. In just 2 months, the entire outer sect knew Yi Qiao's name. It's not because of how talented and hard-working she is, but because she sleeps all day long. That's right. Yi Qiao followed the large army to the back of the mountain with a sullen expression, and it had nothing to do with her to choose inner disciples. Even if you choose, you have to choose from the top 10 outer sects in the assessment results, and don't even think about her who is out of the hundreds. But it's human nature to join in the fun, so Du Chun pulled Yi Qiao desperately to squeeze in front of people, and warmly introduced to her, the one in front is senior brother Zhu, and the one behind is senior brother Ming. She had seen Zhu Yu before. Yi Qiao's eyes fell on the young man behind. The snow-colored clothes lined up Ming Xuan's handsome features, holding a folding fan in his hand, and patted it lightly, looking very coquettish. Is that Ming Xuan? Du Chun nodded wildly, as if he was a fan of brains. He is handsome, many female cultivators of our Changming sect want to marry him. Yi Qiao raised her eyebrows, then they might be disappointed. Why? Yi Qiao sighed casually. Because his mood is unstable, he might go mad one day. Du Chun, stop joking. Brother Ming Xuan's mood is unstable. How can it be? Yi Qiao shrugged. She wasn't joking. In the novel, Ming Xuan fell into the devil's way because he couldn't break the mirror for many years. The voices of both of them were not loud, but Ming Xuan's cultivation was high, so he still heard it. Originally, his attention was not on Yi Qiao's side, but the girl's next sentence of unstable mood made the young man squint suddenly. Eyes looking in her direction. How did she know? Zhu Yu, who was next to her, also heard what she said, and he smiled softly when he saw this. She is the outer door I told you about not long ago. Isn't it interesting? Ming Xuan tilted his head and looked at Yi Qiao. Just that dwarf. Zhu Yu was helpless. You can't talk to girls like this, second senior brother. Ming Xuan sneered. She cursed me that I would go crazy in the future, so I can't call her a dwarf. No. Zhu Yu shook his head. He always thought that girls were the cutest creatures in the world. If he had a junior sister, he would only give everything to her. Ming Xuan obviously didn't have the consciousness of being gentler to the girl. He was a little curious about why Yi Qiao knew that her mood was unstable. Ming Xuan fingertips across the quota, what kind of Tao does she cultivate? The elder of the outer sect heard the words and took a look. Yi Qiao. He was a little puzzled as to why Mingxuan would notice such an unremarkable disciple. This kid is a swordsman, and his grades are not that bad even if he is poor on weekdays, but he is still far behind the excellent outer sect. The key point is that this girl goes back to sleep in the yard after practicing sword all day long, and she doesn't know what else to sleep on. The road is clear, the road to immortality is long. How can we do it if we don't work hard? Mingxuan fell into deep thought. I can't figure out how this kind of unmotivated disciple knows that his mood is unstable. Yi Qiao on the other side didn't know that she was remembered because of her words. She was thinking about whether to ask Mu Chongxi to go down the mountain together at night. The spirit gathering formation talismans she laid down are almost used up. I have to go down the mountain to buy some talisman paper, and earn some living expenses along the way. Ellipsis. After Zhu Yu and Mingxuan had selected the inner disciples of this year, they returned to the main peak together to report to the suzerain. The two bowed slightly. Master. The head of the Changming sect is called Qin Fanfan. He has a cute name, but he is actually a bad old man. He paced back and forth, looking at these two disciples with an unclear expression. I heard that Yue Qingzong recently accepted a personal transmission of the highest grade water spirit root. Mingxuan was slightly surprised. The best water spirit root. That talent is indeed extremely high. Yes. Qin Fanfan said faintly, I heard that Yunhen brought them back from the mortal world. There are only a handful of top-grade spirits, and they were abducted by Yue Qingzong preemptively. The Yue Qingzong has been in the limelight these days. Qin Fanfan said while glaring at these unsatisfied disciples. When will you give me a long face? Zhu Yu's left ear went in and out of his right ear. Qin Fanfan didn't expect these disciples to do anything earth-shattering. In fact, he didn't even have any hope for next year's competition. There is no shortage of geniuses in Changming sect. After all, those who can participate in the grand competition are the best talents in the sect. But even if they are not as good as other sects every year, the direct disciples of this batch of participating are also not so fuel-efficient compared to each other. Mu Chongxi and Mingxuan don't deal with each other very much on weekdays. They fight among themselves before the match starts, and when they're on the field, they can fully predict the outcome. Not to mention Zhou Exingyun, as the one with the highest cultivation base, he ended up half dead all day long, as if he was about to leave this beautiful world in the next second. Zhu Yu can be regarded as a relatively normal one among the four. Is it so lively today? Said Cao 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 arrived. Mu Chongxi walked in with a step that no relatives recognized, caught a glimpse of the two senior brothers. He raised his eyebrows. Master, what do you want from us? Mentioning this, Qin Fanfan got angry. You bastard, you can't make me less trouble. Every day, I ran down the mountain with that outer disciple named Yi Qiao. Is there your father or your mother at the foot of the mountain? Mu Chongxi yelled aggrieved. Then no one else will play with me except Yi Qiao. He pointed to Zhu Yu and Mingxuan. These two dogs are in pairs all day long. Brother Zhou is nowhere to be seen all day long. Both the outer and inner sects are also afraid of my personal identity. Only Yi Qiao is willing to accompany you. I'm going down. Sometimes Mu Chongxi felt that Yi Qiao was very strange. Unlike people in the cultivation world, he has no fear of direct disciples, but he likes Yi Qiao's attitude that he doesn't care about anyone. After all, making friends is not looking for servants. He doesn't want the other party to be humble. Qin Fanfan was choked by the repeated questioning. He coughed dryly, but he didn't expect the little disciple to have such a big resentment. So I came to you today just to ask, do you want to find a junior sister or a junior? Now there are only 9 months left before the Dabi, but he still can't find suitable disciples, so he thought that he might as well ask these disciples what they want. Of course they are junior sisters. Other sects have junior sisters, but our sect has a group of stinky men. Mu Chongshi protested. Even the group of incomprehensible sword cultivators in the sword-seeking sect have junior sisters. He wants little junior sister. Ming Xuan glanced at him leisurely and laughed. It's like you're not a swordsman. Zhu Yu, who has always had nothing to do with himself, also raised his hand at this moment, and made an opinion. Don't want a junior brother, like Mu Chongshi. The big yellow dog at the gate of our sect thinks he is annoying and not cute at all. I prefer girls. Thinking that he had taken in 4 big men, Qin Fanfan felt that it made some sense. It was time to take in a female disciple. Suzerain, who do you think is better to accept? He thought about it. This year, there are a few talented people in the outer sect. There are a few offshoots of the big clan. There are also a few girls with high-grade spiritual roots in the inner sect. Mu Chongshi and Zhu Yu blurted out at the same time, Yi Qiao. Zhu Yu smiled slightly. Master, I think she's pretty good. For some reason, he always had a premonition that this little junior sister would make the sect lively. It just so happens that he likes to be lively the most. Ming Xuan frowned, but he didn't object. Ming Xuan frowned, but he didn't object. He didn't care much about talent. As junior sister, she was like a group favorite in every sect. So he also reluctantly said, do whatever you want. None of the 3 had any opinion. As for Zhou Xingyun, his opinion doesn't matter. Qin Fanfan frowned. You mean that Yi Qiao at the outer door? The reason why he has an impression of Yi Qiao is because this girl is not very talented. She doesn't have the slightest sense of a monk. She sleeps all day long, and often encourages Mu Chongshi to go down the mountain together. Yes, that's her. Mu Chongshi was bored. Anyway, we count down all the year round, and I don't think I can find any geniuses this year, but Yi Qiao is pretty good, noisy, and interesting. What is the big comparison of the first and second? They're firmly in the bottom of the list. No more disputes. Their Changming sect is completely screwed up. Qin Fanfan was silent for a few seconds, strangely convinced by this reason. So the 5th personal pass quota was hastily determined. Ellipsis. Yi Qiao, who didn't know that she was being targeted, was about to lie down and sleep, but she was frightened by the suzerain's sudden summons on the jade slip, causing a salted fish to turn over and get up from the couch. Metropolitan. Yi Qiao has been in the sect for 2 months, and all she knows are outer disciples and elders. How could someone at the level of the suzerain summon him? She had an intuition that nothing good happened, but she could only get up from the couch, put on her clothes in a daze, dragged her tired body, and rushed to the main peak where the suzerain lived. The mountain peak soared into the sky, with 900 stone steps, and Yi Qiao didn't know how to control a sword, so she could only walk up step by step. She rubbed her eyes, thinking as she walked. Pretty good. Every time I visit the suzerain, I feel like the emperor ascended the throne. Sect master, hello to the 3 senior brothers. She bowed slightly, not daring to raise her head the whole time. The old man sitting on it is undoubtedly her boss. Yi Qiao didn't know what the old man asked her to do because she didn't sleep in the middle of the night. She hung her head attentively, so sleepy that she almost couldn't keep her eyes open. Qin Fanfan looked at her calmly, then sighed slightly. Sure enough, the rumors were right. This kid really doesn't make progress. Night is the time when the aura is the strongest, and she actually spends such precious time to sleep. The suzerain sitting at the top asked in a gentle voice with his hands behind his back, "Do you want to be a personal successor?" Yi Qiao trembled. What sin did she do to be a personal biography? The girl was silent. Qin Fanfan thought she was shy, smiled slightly, and pointed to the 3 people standing not far away. This is your 3 senior brothers. Should have seen it before. Yi Qiao raised her head and met Mu Chongshi's gaze. No. They went down the mountain to play together a few days ago, but today he is his senior brother. Yi Qiao remained silent, and Mu Chongshi blinked at her, thinking that she was too happy to speak. Except for Zhu Yu, who saw some signs of it, none of the others thought about Yi Qiao's unwillingness to do this personal biography. Clean up and move to the yard tomorrow. After a pause, Qin Fanfan specially and move to the yard tomorrow. After a pause, Qin Fanfan specially instructed, don't forget. Yi Qiao took a deep breath, and pulled out a smile that was uglier than crying. Disciple obeys. Qin Fanfan felt that she was moved and cried, and was very relieved to see this. He didn't expect that although this little girl is not talented, she knows how to be grateful. Chevron_left previous